Hi, this is Chris at the Wandering Bull. In today's video, we're going to talk about making a deer toe leg rattle used by traditional dancers. This is basically the finished product. That's the front side. Here's the back side with knots and the ties for around your leg. Here's another variation, a little more elaborate, more rows of deer toes that hang down. So obviously the more, you get a little more sound. But basically we're going to work with this, and I have 10 deer toes hanging down with glass crow beads. This is a deer toe. There's usually 2 of them. Let me get a pair. So that's how they would sit on the deer. And these are dew claws, and they basically sit higher up above the ankle on that deer. So we're going to concentrate with the deer toes and put the dew claws aside. So with the deer toes, I'm going to basically drill a hole. There's a hole all the way through these guys, so we can lace the leather through. So to start, there's my template. I'm going to lay it on nice thick deerskin. So you basically want a nice thick piece of deerskin, not a lot of stretch in it. I don't like using pen, but we're going to use pen today just so you can see, so that the outline stays in place, doesn't disappear on us as I work. Deerskin's expensive, so I try not to waste it. Use every little scrap. My template is 6, 4. I'm 10 inches long and about 2 1/4 inches wide. And I've poked all my holes, and I have an extra hole on each end that will be for the ties on the end. So this smooth side of the deerskin is the side that the hair sticks into, and the rough side is actually against the animal. So now that I've got my holes marked out, and I marked it out on the back because I want the smooth side facing forward and that rough side with my pen mark on the back. Don't like using pen because you can't cut it all out. It always either stays on your scrap or stays on your finished piece, and not exactly what we're looking for. So with the hole punch, I'm going to poke the holes. There you go. So if you look at this guy, I have the knots on the back. So I'm going to come up with a piece of deerskin. Let's give it out a measure. So that guy's about 13, 14 inches long. I tie a knot in the center of that. You want to cut an angle on both ends. So the knot's going to be in the back. So I'm going to start in the back, slide one end through the second hole, because this first hole will be our tie. So I've done that, and by putting the knot on it, now it won't slide out either side. The knot secures it in the back. So I'm using glass crow beads, and I like 2 different colors. So here's my piece. So I cut that nice point, twist on the bead. You can use as many beads as you want, but you want that crow bead. That's the biggest glass bead we sell that has the largest hole that will basically fit on this deerskin lace. I've already pre-drilled all these. Here we're going to slide it in the tip of the toe. Little pair of pliers might help you grab that end of that lace. Pull it through. And here I can tie the knot here. So I'm going to tie that knot And once again, we talked about before, I want to double loop this. So I'm going to go back in that hole, pull that knot tight. So now once I slide that toe to the knot, and those beads will slide down. So relatively easy. I'm going to start with the yellow bead first. Slide the beads all the way down and go to the toe. Once again, we're going to go in through the tip of that toe. Grab your pliers, pull that end out, tie one knot. I'd like to go back through again, pull it again, pull it tight. So that one piece of lace, I attached 2 toes. Another piece, gonna cut these guys to a point. And I like a nice slender point. That way it slides in that deer toe a little easier. Have them all in place. Go the yellow, the blue. I'm just gonna put all my beads on first, and then I'll go back and attach the toes. We're using 10 toes per leg rattle. You could bump it up to the 20, go to 15, whichever you feel comfortable with. The more you add, the heavier they are. But obviously, the more noise they'll make. Have all my beads attached. Pull it through tight. Like it, pull that tight to the beads and tie your knot as close as you can to the opening of that deer toe. I like to do the 2 loops. It's a nice big fat knot. And you want a nice fat knot because you don't want that lace to stretch over time and then have that knot so thin that it will pull out of the tip of the toe. And if that happens, you could, so if my hole were too big on this one, I could slide this bead down because I know that bead won't go through the hole in the deer toe. Now tie one knot. So I have that bead in place and you don't see it. So that will basically keep that toe from sliding off the end of the lace. Tie that knot, loop it through twice. All right. So deer toes are in place. We'll work on the ties next. So once again, I'm going to cut a nice point. So I got 2 about 15, 17 inches long. I'm going to put my knot in the back. Go through the front. And here's, once again, I'm going to tie that knot. I'm going to go through that hole twice. Once, go through again, twice. The other side. So, deer toe leg rattle finished. That's our backside with the knots. 2 ties so you can tie around your ankle. So once again, wanderingbull.com. We sell deer skin, the deer toes. Be creative, and thanks for watching.